Dogs have stood beside humans for thousands of years, serving as loyal companions, protectors, and as walking dogs. But there was a time when dogs were not just family companions or household pets. They were something far more terrifying. They were weapons of war. Today, we step back into time to uncover the six ancient war dog breeds that most of you guys don't know about. So let's jump on to our first war dog on the list. Number 6. Fila da Terceira. Our journey begins in the Azores Islands of Portugal. During the Age of Conquest, a powerful dog was bred for one purpose: control. And this breed was the Fila da Terceira. On Terceira Island, farmers needed a dog strong enough to face wild bulls, manage livestock animals, and protect their villages from raiders. And the Fila da Terceira delivered that: muscular, fearless, and unbreakable. But the Azores Islands were more than just farmlands. They were a key stop for ships crossing the Atlantic Ocean and a prime target for the pirates. It's believed that these pirates took the Fila da Terceira aboard, using them as fierce guard dogs and fighters, spreading their reputation of terror across the seas. Though it's not a legendary war dog breed like the breeds we're gonna talk later in this episode, but make no mistake, this breed was indeed bred for violence, protection, and fear. By the early 1900s, the breed had just vanished. Yet, its legacy still lived on in dogs like the Fila Brasileiro or Brazilian Mastiff, who still carry its raw, untamed spirit today. Number 5. The Assyrian Mastiff. To discover the origins of this breed, we need to travel back almost 3,000 years to the mighty empire of Assyria, where kings ruled with their iron fists. And at their side stood a beast unlike any other, the Assyrian Mastiff. These massive war dogs were more than just guardians. They were a living symbol of power and domination. The Assyrian Mastiff wasn't simply a guard dog, it was bred as a weapon of war, trained to intimidate enemies, hunt lions, and protect soldiers. These colossal dogs charged into battle alongside chariots, snapping and snarling at enemy warriors. They weren't just animals, they were a part of Assyria's military might. These dogs were honored as the treasure of empire, and even gifted to kings as living weapons of prestige. To the Assyrians, this mastiff wasn't just a dog, it was a god of war in a canine form. And while the original Assyrian Mastiff has vanished into history, its bloodlines still echo through time. Today, descendants like the Kurdish Mastiff continue to guard flocks and homes with that same ancient ferocity. Number 4. The Laconian Hound. Now, let's travel back to the ancient Greece. When we think of Spartans, we imagine fearless warriors who were unmatched on battlefield. But what many people don't know is that they had powerful allies at their side: the Laconian Hounds. Sleek, fast, and fearless. These dogs weren't bred for sheer size like the massive mastiffs of Assyria. Instead, they brought speed, agility, and strategy to the fight. Some historical evidence suggests that they were used to hunt down enemies, track fugitives, and even break apart enemy formations. In a world where battles were brutal and chaotic, having dogs that could strike swiftly and spread panic gave the Spartans a deadly advantage. But these hounds were more than just weapons of war. To the Greeks, they were a loyal hunting companion, symbols of Spartan resilience, and living embodiments of their fighting spirit. There's also a saying that Alexander the Great's beloved dog, BREEDS, was a Laconian Hound, and according to a legend, Peritas once saved Alexander's life on the battlefield. Number 3. Pugnaces Britanniae. To trace the origins of this breed, we journey back to the ancient Wynn, a land of warriors, tribes, and battles for survival. And among their most fearsome weapons were not blades or shields, but a living beast, the Pugnaces Britanniae, the war dogs of Britain. Massive, broad-headed, and bred for battle, these mastiff-like dogs struck terror into enemies. When Julius Caesar's army invaded in 55 BC, they expected human resistance, but not a wall of deadly jaws, iron collars, and unstoppable strength. The Romans were stunned by this breed's ferocity. So they began exporting these dogs back to the empire, and in Rome, these dogs fought in arenas against lions, bears, and gladiators. And later, these dogs marched with soldiers as living weapon of war. Over time, these fierce, powerful mastiffs were refined and reshaped, and eventually they became the ancestors of today's English Mastiff. Number 2. The Alaunt. Among the medieval war dogs, one breed rose as both hunter and fighter, and this breed was the Alaunt. Bred by nomadic tribes such as the Alaunts, this dog was spread across Europe as a versatile war companion. Unlike the massive Mastiff dogs of the time, the Alaunt was leaner, faster, and more agile, yet still incredibly strong. They had the stamina to chase the wild prey and the force to take on men, horses, or even armored opponents. Knights in the Middle Ages valued them not only for hunting large game, but also for guarding their camps, charging alongside soldiers in battle, and striking fear into enemies with their sheer presence. What made the Alaunt so legendary was not just its strength, but its temperament. These dogs were not a gentle protector. They were fierce, unpredictable, and almost impossible to control in the chaos of war. To the enemies, the sight of an Alaunt meant danger, an attack that was relentless and unyielding. And to their masters, they were both a weapon and a shield, a living embodiment of power. And finally, at number 1, we have the most legendary of them all, the Molossus, known as the ancestor of countless Mastiff dogs. This was the ultimate war dog of the ancient world. Originating from the Molossian people of Epirus, in ancient Greece, the Molossus was a giant, fearsome creature that guarded flocks, defended villages, and marched with soldiers into battle. Roman writers described these dogs as unmatched in strength and loyalty, capable of tearing through enemies with unstoppable power. So valued were these dogs that Alexander the Great himself was said to keep Molossus dogs in his armies. Though the original Molossus breed is now extinct, but its bloodline is immortal. Mastiffs, bulldogs, and countless guardian breeds all carry a piece of this ancient warrior's DNA. The Molossus wasn't just a war dog, it was the foundation of nearly every great guard dog we know today. From the forgotten Fila da Terceira to the mighty Molossus, these ancient breeds reminds us that dogs were not always household companions. They were soldiers, protectors, weapons of flesh and fury. Though many of these dog breeds are now extinct today, but their legacy still lives on the dog breeds we know today. If you enjoyed this episode, then make sure to give it a like, and if there's any dog breed that should have been on this list, mention their names in the comments below, and if you're new to this channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button for more Pawsome dogs. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace out.